A cheap price paid first, then costly maintenance bills, the fool's true payment. The Narukami-class destroyer was the first warship to be designed and manufactured domestically by the Draconis Combine. It was produced in two distinct blocks. The original Block 1 entered service in 2380, later than the homegrown designs of other great houses. This timing allowed the Combine to develop naval doctrines and tactics centered on small, powerful ships that reflected the nation's design and manufacturing capabilities. Cursed with a limited industrial base, the Combine could not attempt larger vessels and instead focused on swarming tactics. The final result was impressive despite these constraints. Even without the advantages of established construction facilities and well-developed tactics, the Narukami was a dangerous and highly effective vessel that outperformed contemporaries such as the Lola-class destroyers manufactured by the Terran Hegemony. It combined substantial protection, high thrust, and considerable firepower. The 670,000 tons of a Narukami were slightly smaller than the 2345 Lola-class destroyer. Where the Lola featured 115,000 tons in its cargo bay, the Narukami allocated only 53,000 tons to cargo, devoting the remaining mass to weapons and propulsion. With a 23% larger engine, the Narukami achieved 33% greater thrust. Improved ferro-aluminum armor allowed it to carry twice as much protection for nearly the same mass, while mounting 34% more weapons than the Lola. Notably, while the Lola had adopted fighter bays, the Narukami still employed small craft bays. However, the Narukami accommodated a full Combine squadron, 12 craft, whereas the Lola could manage only 6 fighters and 2 small craft. The downside to this enhanced capability was reliability. The Terran Hegemony avoided building ships with such extreme thrust ratings because those forces caused structural failures. The Narukami's service history was marked by stress-induced technical problems and engine failures. It was cheap to manufacture, but proved very expensive to maintain and operate. Peacetime operating costs made it more practical to mothball the class, with a reunification war representing its last major conflict. To fill the capability gap, the Combine purchased second-hand warships, such as Barons from the Terran Hegemony. While these vessels underperformed in combat compared to the Narukami, they were far cheaper to maintain. By 2765, all but 6 Block 1 Narukami were mothballs, and the remaining vessels all were based at Pesht, where they had easy access to shipyards for maintenance and supply. As the great houses expanded their militaries after the Staldi Council repealed the Council Edict of 2650, the Draconis Combine revisited the Narukami design. Advancements in armor technology allowed replacement of the improved ferro-aluminum with ferrocarbide, maintaining the same protection level while reducing weight by 25%. These weight savings were allocated to boosting secondary weapon systems. Designers also redesigned the flat decks to support airspace fighters. The resulting Block 2 became the backbone of a resurgent Combine navy. Notably, these were not refits but new constructions, and Narukamis remained cheap to produce, suggesting a somewhat disposable nature. Both blocks of Narukami were heavily armed. In terms of capital weapons, each block mounted 2 heavy Naval PPCs in the nose and 2 NSA-35s in each broadside. Combined into single bays in each of the front and aft, left and right arcs were 2 NAC-20s and 1 NAC-30. The blocks differed in their secondary weapon suits. The Block 1 mounted 10 large lasers aft and 5 in every other arc, along with 10 medium lasers aft and 5 in every other arc, except the nose. The Block 2 stripped out the medium lasers from every arc, replacing them with a PPC, while installing a bank of 5 PPCs in the nose in place of the large lasers. The Narukami-class features distinct cargo configurations across its two production blocks. The Block 1 variant is equipped with a dedicated small craft bay for 12 vessels, supported by 6 doors, alongside a cargo bay holding 53,483 tons, accessible through 2 doors. The Block 2 model consolidates its deployment capabilities into a single bay that accommodates a mixed complement of 12 aerospace fighters and 2 small craft, also serviced by 6 doors, while its cargo capacity is slightly increased to 53,600 tons, accessible via 2 doors. The Narukami saw extensive service in the early succession wars, with several ships surviving the conflict, though only in mothballs. The succession wars nearly destroyed the Combine's industrial base, and the demanding support requirements and associated costs made it impossible for the Combine Admiralty to maintain the destroyers in service. After the clan invasion of the innersphere, the Combine attempted to restore the few remaining Narukamis to active service. However, the ships proved beyond salvage, with both maneuvering drives and jump cores deteriorated beyond repair. By the beginning of the Jihad, the last venerable Narukamis had been scrapped. One notable aspect of a Narukami was its design influence on later Combine vessels. Its configuration of 12 fighter bays and 2 smallcraft bays, along with NAC bays in the quarters, mirrored the Kirishima-class cruiser. The Kirishima and Inazuma-class corvette shared the triple docking collars and thrust ratings, while the Inazuma adopted the near-commerce bow Naval PPCs and anti-aircraft design concepts. Finally, both the Inazuma and the Tatsumaki-class destroyers shared the Narukami's emphasis on autocannons. Ironically, the Tatsumaki also inherited the Narukami's reputation for unreliability.